So this is kind of a special edition of Almost Above Average, where I don't know if you've been. This past week, I was supposed to have an old friend from high school on the podcast. His name was Adam Ginsberg, and the day we were supposed to record, he had committed suicide, and kind of shocked. It shocked everyone. I mean, suicide always does, but something felt different this time to me, for some reason. Maybe it's because we were supposed to record a podcast. Maybe it's because I've had a similar experience, but something feels different about this to me. And apparently a bunch of other people back home. I had another friend whom you'll see in a little bit, who he reached out and he's like, too many of our friends are dying. We have to try to do something. Like, how do you stop suicide? Still don't know. I don't think we're going to find out in this process, but that's not the point. I think the point is try to do something. Too many of our friends have committed suicide, and we're trying to figure out why. Is it something local? Is it just how we grew up over there? Is it just a sad place? And those issues need to be addressed. But what you're about to see is a brainstorming session with me and AJ Anthony Johnson. Him and I are good friends from high school, and we're just kind of spitballing ideas, and I think we came up with some good stuff. And I think moving forward to get people help, like real help, to make an actual impact, we're gonna need some help. We're gonna need some help for doctors to volunteer, for therapists, psychiatrists. Like, it's probably an ambitious plan, but if we don't do anything, then nothing changes. Then that conversation stays like, did you hear about so and so? Yeah, what happened? They killed themselves. Oh man, those poor kids. I feel so bad for the family. I'm gonna pray for them. And then we go about our lives. So I guess him and I we're not prepared to deal with that. Like, there's something we can do. Even if it's just talking about it, there's something we can do. Anyway, this is just the intro to that video, but here's that video just of the brainstorming session with me and AJ. And I guess, follow the podcast, because this is going to be a weekly thing. We're going to discuss this weekly. We're going to talk about a topic. We're going to at least have a discussion about something like that. Our plan, in part, is just to keep talking about it, hold ourselves accountable to the things that we're talking about doing. So it's going to be challenging. We can't do that. Anyway, check it out.
Dealing with print stuff on over here, but I started getting all this stuff together as far as what we got going on. So I got ChatGPT on this screen over here. I got you right here centered in. Oh, yeah. And then I also have a couple web browsers open over here in case we need to research or do anything or
nice
have anything like that. Like, honestly, like, I think that should help us with what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and hopefully at the end of this, we'll have the transcript too, so we can use AI to organize that into like a meeting minutes kind of type thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. How are you using that ChatGPT too?
I use ChatGPT, Perplexity.
What's Perplexity?
Same thing, but freer. And I like it uses like different phrases. You know how you use ChatGPT and it kind of kicks out the same type of stuff all the time? Like, it uses the same words and same phrases. Perplexity kind of does that too, but it uses different ones than ChatGPT.
Gotcha.
So like my captions, they look a little different.
Gotcha. Yeah, you gotta fucking really know how to word that shit.
Yeah, I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I mean, I've been messing with it for about a year. I use it to help me with everything, dude. Like, put the transcript in, help me with an intro voiceover for the podcast. Give me the summary for this podcast. Here's the transcript. Give me a description for Spotify.
Yeah, that's dope.
So it's like having a really perfect partner. You just got to know exactly how to tell it what to do,
Yeah, communication's key, right?
There's a skill. Well, dude, this thing about Adam it kind of fucked me up, man.
Yeah,
he was scheduled to be on the show, but it really feels like the messages and the calls and the things people have been reaching out with, it feels like there's something here. Like, you were like the first one to contact me, like, hey, dude, we got to do something about this. And, since then, a bunch of other people have been commenting, let me know what I can do, how I can help. So there's definitely an opportunity here. Like, we're all feeling it, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be a way to help in that space.
From my understanding, even with that group that we have, Uniting Dads on Facebook and stuff like that, no one really wants to open up. And I think that right there is a main thing. Everyone wants to help. They love the idea. They love about fucking helping out other men and stuff like that. What we go through, it's just that when we get into that dark place, and I think we all kind of go through it from time to time, it's hard to come out of it. That's why like I hold like friends like Wolf. He passed away not a few years back, but when I was down in my dark places, he would grab me and pull me out. Like even just invites to let's go out here. Hey, let's go do this. Eventually I got out and that helped.
Because he knew you were in that space. Like I was talking about this, it's almost impossible to help someone once that decision was made. So the only way I can kind of see help is exactly how your friend helped you, is like seeing somebody start slipping. Like that's the time to get involved.
But we
Because
don't
once
always see
person
it.
right. Once the
Yeah.
person's already made that decision, because I've went through it too. I had already made that decision, and I wasn't gonna go find the suicide hotline. I wasn't gonna go reach out to my best friends like, "Hey, I'm feeling suicidal. What should I do?" It wasn't that. I was already ready. Like, I hope no one catches me while I'm trying to do this. You know what I mean? That was
Yeah, like
more it.
I'm trying to. I think we need to get further back off into it, like catch the precursors before you get to that stage.
Right.
So, like for me, like suicide has been something that was used against me by my mom. Like whenever she wouldn't get her way, she would try to, you know what I mean, use that like, oh well, I'm just gonna kill myself then, blah. You know what I mean? So it has a different meaning for me. Like I refuse to, and I think that also like if you'll get caught off into that purgatory, you might get stuck in a loop of going through the exact same shit all over again for eternity. I for certain don't want that.
I saw the movie. I ain't trying to do that.
Certain don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm my worst shit. Nah, fuck I hope there's a better day tomorrow.
I hope so too, man, but I ain't trying to go there either.
But if we can catch people like as they're just in that pit of depression, anxiety, despair, like all those different feelings that we don't really know how to release, or even just being in a space with somebody else, like even you don't have to be saying shit.
Right.
It helps. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When my son got snatched up from me, like in the middle of the night, like Adams reached out, oh, I'm having this bonfire, come through, blah. And I just sat there by the fire. Wasn't trying to talk to nobody really. I just sat there. But that helped me tremendously.
Right.
Just being around other people.
I was thinking of this today too, like, because we've already established that once you're in that state of mind, there's no helping. But you know what I've always tried to use in moments like that, like when I see, like if you were depressed and you and I were hanging out and I could obviously see it, right? Like a strategy that I use is humor. Like I try to crack a joke to you about you or something, you know, I focus on you for a second and try to snap your mind out of whatever you're thinking about for just a couple seconds. Give me a giggle, you know, let me break through that little train of thought that you're having that I can clearly see that you're having. And that's just one little thing, you know, making sure that we're attentive to the people around us, like being clued in to what they might be going through. Like I'm at work and I'm kind of, honestly, I'm judging people when they're walking by, but I'm kind of, you know, thinking, making up stories for them as they walk by. Like, I wonder, you know, how the wife is today, or, you know, just, I'm trying to give them stories to make my judgments okay in my head. But that goes along with just paying attention to how the people around you, especially the ones you care about, are being, you know, so you can intervene if there is something like that going on.
I completely agree. I think with a lot of people though, like, and I know myself, I can do this at times too. A lot of people, when they talk or when they listen, they're just waiting for their opportunity to talk themselves.
Right.
Absolutely. So it's like it's hard to get to someone who's depressed and they don't even want to talk or open up or anything else like that. That's why even just dragging people out, having events, or even just open discussions like we're talking about today. Like maybe like if we can come up with like different topics and different things to discuss and then bring people in, you know what I mean? Not only have the problems, but also let's try to find solutions to these problems as well. So we're not just on whatever, just bitching about shit. Maybe mama did this, or oh, you know what I mean? My job's doing this. You know?
We all have our reasons.
Yeah, so like let's actually, like if we can actually have some solutions to that as well, that would be phenomenal. Like so some guests who may have gone through stuff and have a solution towards certain things. You know what I mean? And every state and every person that we deal with is going to be different because laws are going to be different there, especially when we're dealing with family law and things like that. You know what I mean? But with resume building, you know what I mean? All these other things that we can actually, ChatGPT can help out tremendously with that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the funding should really go to. If like once like I actually do start receiving donations and stuff like that,
Right.
towards like subscriptions to BetterHelp so they can get therapy sessions and like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
funding like someone who actually dedicate their time to dedicate because time is money. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
if someone can like or volunteer their time to help build resumes and stuff like that, that
Yeah.
would be tremendous. That's the way we can get like so if we can network like that to where it doesn't require money and we can just provide services for other people, like just compete, keep on building up our network. I think
Yeah.
that right there would help out tremendously.
I think that's exactly right. And during all of that, I think documenting that in the form of just, regular videos to put out on
Mm-hmm.
social media and also documenting it like this. I think so. We keep the conversation going like this, and this gets put out to the world. This also gets clipped up and is promoting this video. Like we flood the zone with the message and
Yeah.
keep the message going. Dude, when I was at the gym this morning, I got into the steam room and I sat down and I had just this crazy vision for like 2 minutes. I explained it to my wife, but I'm gonna run it by you. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
So, what I can do right now, for sure, using the skills and the tools and the things that I have, I can for sure do the podcast spot, like a section of the podcast that is just about men's mental health, or maybe it's just about suicide prevention. We can decide the details on that one thing later.
Mm-hmm.
But what I kind of had this vision about is doing an event. So last year I did a little book signing event for some local authors. So I had to go through a process of trying to talk to a restaurant, get a place, go to the permits office, try to get permits for this kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
And during this podcasting thing, I've come across some nonprofit leaders. There's a lady that I had on the podcast. What she does is she gets free dental care to people who can't afford it, using volunteer time from dentists and stuff like that. So I have her, and I have one of her friends who is a nonprofit banker, which she does things in this space all the time. So I got some resources inside as far as a local event. So my plan is to kind of do another book signing event, but it's not a book signing event. It'll be like this mental health event where I'll get a place secured. I'll play music there also. I see getting food vendors involved, getting permits for all that stuff, getting psychologists, therapists, pastors, AANA representatives
Yes.
to donate their time.
Mm-hmm.
Just come out for an hour. You guys can eat for free. You guys can get in for free, but we're just, we're doing a show. This is all for free.
Yeah.
And so we got, foods taken care of. We're getting help for free. Like if you're going through something, please stop by one of these booths. That's why they're here. And if it needs aftercare, like you don't have insurance and you need prescription, you clearly have some psychotic stuff going on, you need to be seen. We get use the resources that I mentioned earlier to try to get funding for that, or funding to pay for the actual visits, like physicians visits, psychiatrist visits, or we set up a nonprofit. We set up our own nonprofit that just funds that, or we get grants for that. Either way, there's an avenue to get that funded somewhere within my network and our network that we're building. So I guess the plan for me would be to start local, do a small event, make it as big as I can, but do the first one. It'll probably look like I got a couple of my AA guys, a couple of my NA guys, a couple pastors that I know around here, and some, I know a couple doctors, and I can get people to come. So it'll probably be a really small thing. I'll play a little music. It'll be a small thing, but we'll be documenting it and we'll be talking about it all the time on a podcast on that section that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Like it'll just be a constant. So we're always doing that. And my hope is this kind of thing will start to catch fire. Like people seeing like, oh my God, look what these guys are doing, trying to prevent, suicide, mental health issues. They're, doing something about it. I think if I know people like I think that I do, like we can appeal to the goodness in people and kind of spread this out to where I'll be going city to city. I'll do my city first and kind of branch out from there until it gets bigger and evolves. And we'll just kind of work it to where we're traveling, maybe worldwide at the end. We're going to London. We're doing a festival, a men's mental health festival. We got, a lineup of all the famous bands and rappers in the world. And we're doing the exact same thing on a humongous scale. But I had this fucking crazy vision, dude. But anyway, that was kind of...
That'd be dope. That's something that's been on my thought board as well as far as events is concerned. But it was more like fishing trips, like, you know what I mean? Things like going out to the bowling alley, just doing different things and having activities included with just just to get people to come out, to get out of the shell that they're in. Because that shell that's the problem. That shell is that problem. When someone feels alone, I think that's what I think the problem is anyway. Is when someone feels alone or misunderstood or just alone, and there's no one else that understands, and no one else is going through what you're going through, and it's just you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you want a place to just relax and just let it all out, and just like where you can just all right, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life to where there's no actual time for us. You know what I mean? As men, because a few of my relationships went away because there isn't enough time for me to actually, like, if I'm going through something, there's nothing there for me because it's always a problem with her. And if I was to go confide off into her, now there's a whole nother fucking problem. Like, it's never ending. And this is, you know what I mean? That's your closest relationship throughout life, is the partner that you choose. And I think a lot of men get off into relationships with partners that they choose, and that ends up happening a lot. You know what I mean? There's other instances, situations that come up as well, as far as alcoholism, abuse, and things like that. Just like money issues, financial. That's about to hit the roof right now. But there's
there's part of our society too that for men going through it, like I feel it, that I would call my friends right now, like, because I know myself well enough that I know that I need to talk to someone. But for the common man in America, you're just gonna hold it inside because you don't have
and I think
that shit'll kill you. That shit eats you alive inside.
That is the toxic masculinity, that nut up part. That's the toxic part. It's not the discipline. It's not we just talking shit back and forth. That's not toxic. We're holding each other accountable for our actions. That ain't toxic at all. The toxic part is all the shit that we bottle up inside because we have nowhere to fucking release it, or we don't know how to release it healthy.
Right. Or that's what most of us get to drinking and drugs with. Just masking our shit. And I know that struggle. You know that struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So we have to create a space that is inviting to a man. Like, what's going to appeal to a man's man that's already in that mind state? Like, he doesn't need help because he's a man's man. How do we appeal to him? You know?
That's why I was thinking events like fishing, bowling, you know what I mean? Camping.
Something they're already doing, right?
Yeah. Like things that we already kind of do. You know what I mean? Like we charter out a whole fishing tour boat off of Corpus Christi. You know what I mean? It's the boat seats about 30 people. We can have raffles for that, or you know what I mean, whatever the case may be, like, or even just sell tickets to that. Like as we hold events, we get people out, and then like we can give away tickets to, like, hey, I bought one for my brother, I bought one for my friend, I bought one for him, you know what I mean, or whatever however we choose to do it financially, like we can get that done. That way we can actually get people out to go do things and feel like they're a part of something.
Right. We could do all of these things, like like men's retreats. It could be hiking, camping, boating, fishing,
kayaks, all that. I love outdoors, so that's the first thing I go to. You know what I mean? We can have disc golf events. I play disc golf like a motherfucker too. There's a whole bunch of men playing disc golf, and I know that gets the hiking out the way. Like it gets a social activity in there. You know what I mean? It provides a good environment for you to, like, you know what I mean?
Dude, and hopefully within that starts a community. Like we get people together around our common shared goal of like, yo, I'm a little fucked up in the head. I mean, are you a little fucked up in the head? What about we just hang out and go fishing, and maybe we can solve some of our problems that way?
Yeah.
You know, like I know for a fact, just hearing another alcoholic story is how I was able to quit. And now I just make sure that I hear them all the time so I don't drink. You know?
Yeah. 100%. And I'm trying so hard to like break out of my shell, to be more vulnerable and actually be able to tell my stories. But I have to be careful in telling my stories too, because I got a little trauma in just telling somebody a story. Because I was telling somebody about my baby mama story, and I think I told you this before. The first person I met out here in Texas, like I was telling him about the stuff that I was going through, and I knew him and his baby mom was kind of fighting, maybe about to split up and stuff like that. But he asked me what I was going through. I told him my story, and also said, but there's not all stories are like that. You know what I mean? There's light at the end of the tunnel, and later on there ended up being light for me, but at that time there was no light for me. You know what I mean? I just didn't have my kid at all.
Yeah.
So I may have been telling my story from a dark place. A few days later, maybe a week later, he ends up killing his baby mama, dropping his kid off at his mom's house, and then going on the run from the police. He's been convicted, so like he's sitting in jail right now. During the high-speed chase, he lost an arm. You know what I mean? And then I don't. So I want to be able to have like at least positive stories at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's not all bad.
Yeah.
I feel kind of guilty about that. You know what I mean? Like survivor's remorse, kind of. I don't know.
No, man. I mean, we got to figure out how to get these guys together. But you know, I think it seems like, I don't know, the amount of comments and messages that I've gotten over the last few days, everyone's thinking about it. And my feeling is like we're gonna, like whenever I release this, like afterwards, I imagine it's gonna happen a little more, and then some more ideas. You know what happened? A few people reached out to me.
Oh wow.
You know, like so. Why I said that is because how many people is he telling that to? Like he needed someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to provide. Like that's the thing that's missing in our society. It's like, if you can talk to me about that, we need to find better ways to get people like you and me together, or people to think more like openly. Like we need to talk about shit too, you know?
100%.
Dude.
Yeah, it's hard for men to be vulnerable, and it's even I think it's harder for people to like talk about things they may be embarrassed about as well.
Right.
So that's why I think like activities kind of help ease in towards just relieving the pressure, so they don't exert that pressure towards somebody else or something else, their family. Because if we have a better like mental health situation, then we can provide a better situation from our home. You know what I mean? Like you're the leader of the household, or whether you like it or not. No matter how much your wife wants to push, you're the leader of the household. You know what I mean? It's on you. That responsibility does fall on you. So like having that release and just an ability to step away and the more we talk about mental health, the more we talk about therapy, the more we actually talk about the problems, the more we can actually talk about the solutions as well.
Yeah.
But we can't get to the solutions if we don't talk about the problems.
We have to get people comfortable enough to talk about the problems too. So
100%.
I think we do that by making sure we talk about it. And when we talk about it, we're vulnerable. When we talk about it, we kind of have to model this behavior. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe I think that's a strategy that will work. You know, I'm like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to break out of the shell. Like, I don't know. I hold a lot of stuff in, you know what I mean? And like, especially like all the stories just the shit that I've been through. It's like, all right, cool. Smile, do better next day. The only job I have is to be better than I was the day before. Right. That's it. I'm only in competition with myself. And as long as I keep on growing, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'll be able to actually make those improvements, and I'll be able to be the change that I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what and you know, this idea of like going different places and doing events around this, it satisfies every box that I'm trying to do in my life. It felt like a calling when I was sitting there. Like I sat down and I just kind of had this crazy vision, like, all right, how this is going to happen. This is how you're going to pay for that. It felt like a calling, like it was God putting it into my head. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
And it checks every box that I'm trying to do with my life anyway. That satisfies my podcasting and, you know, creator stuff. Mm-hmm. Satisfies the music stuff, because I'm not going. I do want to get my music out there, but it's not a deal where I'm beholden to a record company and I'm going there to make millions of dollars. I'm going to go play some free music at this event and get my music out there at the same time.
Yeah.
Help as many people as I can and talk about it on the podcast to further the message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just felt like all those things lined up.
Yeah.
It's never happened like that before.
Well, shit, that may be a sign. That may be a sign. Like
it was crazy. Like, and I was like, my heart was going, and I couldn't wait to get out. Like, and I wanted to tell someone. Someone came in the steam room. I was like fighting it. Like, bro, I just need to tell you this. I'm never gonna talk to you again, but I need you to hear this.
What was the reaction?
No, I didn't do it. I think I'm being downloaded. Somebody's downloading it. It was weird, bro. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what happened.
No, that's awesome.
But I think there's something here. I feel it in my everything. Since your text, you kind of kind of fired me up. You sent me that text like, we got to do something. I'm like, huh, there's a message there. And then as soon as I doubled it up, put it out, then more people were like, yo, let's do something. So there's definitely something there. It's an opportunity for us, like, to not only give our hometown a little bit of like hope, and do it in the name of a fallen friend of ours that we went to high school with, but we can reach with social media. We can reach so many people. Like, we're doing this in Dubai at our third festival in the last 10 years, where 40,000 people or something. How cool would that be?
That'd be tremendous. That'd be dope.
Right? Like, and we have to name it something to where, like, it's no matter what you're thinking of mental health, because by the time it gets to something that big, you probably lose a little bit of the meaning. There's people getting fucked up in the crowds, and but I'm just saying the vision is there. If we're only putting positive stuff into it, even when it's small, if we only grow it that way, just with positive vibes, it will be that when it gets that big, because we can kind of regulate who's coming in and out of these things, and there's something there. And we just keep the conversation going. We make it okay for guys to talk about the shit that they think is dumb, or that they are too embarrassed to tell another person. We got to try to make that okay. And the only way I see to do that is to do it myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and it's scary, but it's scary. My heart's beating just thinking about it. But
me too. That's how you know it's right, bro.
We most definitely got to start somewhere. We got to start.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of losing brothers.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't even matter whether like we were 100% like close friends, or it could be just associates too. I just hate losing people early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just sucks.
Because the whole world kind of just moves on, and it's like, y'all got to talk. I mean, we talked about it, and the conversation went like this. Did you hear that so-and-so killed himself? Like, dang. That's tough. And that's tough.
On a random Facebook post.
Yeah. And then that's the end of it, right? You say, man, that's tough. I feel bad for the family. Prayers for them. Those three things happen. And then you're all right. You hungry? Like, that's kind of how we process that. And it sucks. That's a society thing.
Yeah.
It's despicable.
Yeah.
So maybe our job is to paint suicide and just mental health in I don't know about a good light, but just a light where it's okay to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, to talk about it. Yeah,
and maybe these podcast episodes, so let's do, like, I'll dedicate a section, like a day. Mondays will be like Men's Mental Health Mondays or something like that. And then we could have a topic for that day, and we just talk about that topic. Or even in the future, we could bring in guys actually going through it. Like, let's fucking work through it. Let's work through it, record it live. Like, this is the help. Like, I'm going to try to help you with all of my experience. You're going to try to help with all your experience, and we'll see what happens. You will see what happens. I think people watching people trying to help is helpful also. It's kind of like a mushroom. All of these things with social media and content, you can like quadruple the way you get to people. I'm starting to learn a lot more about just the reach I can have. With one piece of content, I can make, really 20, 30 pieces of content and just have them coming out all the time if I want, or just remake them,
Yeah, I think TikTok is a very valuable source for this, because we can do something very similar to this, and then have other people bring other people in. Of course, we can have our moderators on the back, but that can really engage us into a lot of different things. But you have to have 1,000 followers before you can even join the live, and I'm not sure everyone on TikTok has over 1,000 followers. I'm not sure if even the policies is still the same since that whole little ban bullshit. But I'm not. Yeah, so like.
That was a rough day, wasn't it?
But I like the way it's laid out because I listen to a lot of their chats, a lot of their debates and stuff like that, political and both about like the men-women divide back when they were doing that type of things. But like just hearing conversations about different things, this was never a conversation though. This has never been the top rappers, top basketball players of all times, goats of all, but never about mental health. Never
I'm
about.
trying to think of like my heroes right now. Like, they've all done the drug thing, like, but there's no one really doing mental health on a level like that.
Nah, no one's having these discussions. I think a lot of people are scared to be vulnerable. Especially men, because like people use our vulnerabilities as weaknesses, like, and that's the hardest part about opening up, is because now people can use that against you.
Right.
And that's the hardest part. That right there
Mhm.
is the hardest part. You know what I mean?
My strategy is they probably will, and I can accept that.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
my strategy.
Yeah. Like, but that's your story.
Right. No,
Not everyone's
I
going to be
get why
able to
no one
accept
should
that.
do that. No one should do that.
Yeah, not everyone's going to be able to accept that.
No.
And so they may feel even more alienated because they can't. You know what I mean? So like,
Right. We have to almost get the vulnerability addressed before we even talk to the person. Almost like we need to prompt them, like, hey, we need you on the podcast. We're gonna talk about the way your parenting made you into an alcoholic. Like, give them a specific thing, like, you definitely have to be vulnerable about this when you talk to me the next time. Just some instructions, because when you get someone vulnerable, at least what I found doing podcasting, when you're getting to a vulnerable thing, or they know they're supposed to be, then they really don't want to do it. Like, you almost have to trick them into talking.
Well, I mean, like, I think that's where our example is going to be the best situation. You know what I mean?
Right,
we have a lot of examples to pull from.
Documenting all my bullshit for the last year. Like,
Yeah.
I've been saying some wild shit. There's gonna be a time when there's so many followers, they're gonna pull up some of my old shit. It's gonna come back. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like, hey, you got to answer for this now. I'm like, all right, I will.
Yeah.
This
No,
is how I was thinking. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I'm honest with myself and everything that I say, and I can back it up, I'm okay with it. You know, as long as I can explain it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Don't lie about shit. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's it. Like, just stay 10 toes. That's it. Honor.
Yeah. Well, fuck. So I think I'll start the mental health Monday thing as soon as possible. Do you want to be involved in that? Do you want to do this every Monday?
Yes.
We don't have to do it every Monday. What we could do is like record an hour or longer every time, and we pick a few topics, and we just have one really long conversation, and then I cut it up into 4 different episodes, or 3 different, however long the time works. You know, we can do one long recording while we're like feeling it, and we can podcast literally 10 minutes minimum.
Yeah.
You know, like, it doesn't really matter. You know, I'd prefer if it was like 25, but it really doesn't matter to make recording simple on us. So if we pick a few topics that we want to cover, that's going to be the time we're going to have to be vulnerable. So that's the time we be an example. So we're going to have some deep conversations.
Yeah.
Some tough conversations, but I'm ready for it. I mean,
And then we can always bring up people on the podcast just to start things off and see how things go. You know what I mean? Like, how easy it's to bring somebody, like, say you were to bring somebody in right now, how easy would that to be? They just join in and then they're good to go.
Yeah, if they were to join in, they pop on the bottom of my screen, and then I give them permission to come into the studio. So yeah, that'd be easy. We could get a whole panel in here.
And then they have a chat section over here as well. Like, we could use this, record it, and then under recording, then we can actually like make sure everything lines up, get some great clips out of it, and then go from there. That'll give us a
share screen. Like, we have options. We can do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
That's awesome. That's really dope. I can share. Once I log in, I'll be able to share screen right here as well, right?
Yep, you should be able to do it. It does say recording on your side, right?
Yeah, it says recording right here on the upper left-hand side.
Okay. I used this platform today. Yesterday, I've been using Riverside, but this is the second time. I recorded an hour and 18 minutes of a podcast last night with a friend, and it only recorded 5 minutes of him. So the whole podcast is just like, you see me, and then every couple of minutes, it's like, yeah. Oh, really? You know, I should release that as the podcast.
Okay, I can select which screen to share too, because I have multiple.
Yep, you can select windows too. You can select different tabs.
Can you see it? Is it up there on the board, or you have to give permission?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool. That's dope. So like that way, I'll be able to pull up information right quick, and then I'll be like, okay, got this here. Bam, send it up there. That's awesome.
Bro, and you know what you could do? Oh man, we could also. How many followers does Uniting Dads have?
Around 275, I believe, right now.
We'll have to check this, but we could probably stream it live, or if not streaming it live directly to United Dads, we could just post the live video after. But
Definitely.
that's another way, you know, a good way to have like exponential reach for the message. Like,
Honestly, I think that'd be a great message to just open up to uniting dads in the South. Uniting dads is private alone. There is no one else has access. You have to be a member of Uniting Dads to see anything that's posted or anything else like that. It's private amongst us.
okay,
So anything, and like if we post videos over there, especially I think vulnerability, it should be our very first topic.
yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to target. Might as well.
Get it out the way.
Let's go. I have to do it every month, once a month, just to make sure we're keeping up on it.
They can have a disclaimer like vulnerability is key to actual fixing things or something along those lines. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't figure out the problem without that without being vulnerable enough to find the problem,
right,
or to voice the problem, and then you can actually find solutions through your community, through your group, through like not just yourself. So you're not sitting there playing the same problem in your own head, because the devil talks to you up there too.
It's such a problem for me that I have to keep every minute of my day busy because I don't like having any idle time anymore. Not like none.
Yeah.
I can't sit on the couch anymore and watch TV. I'm either playing guitar, working on content, at the gym, at work, doing roofing, or I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
You know?
That's pretty dope though. Like staying busy is key.
Yeah.
Like saying like you 6 months down the road, you get what you put in today. So like,
well, there's an opportunity there too. While we're getting people to be vulnerable, you know, we can at least share with them what it worked for us. Like, yo, this is how I did this, not just to address your mental health, but also we turn into, you know, kind of mentors, not like an official, I'm your life coach.
Yeah.
But like, look, dude, AA has a sponsor program, right? And I think it's awesome. Like I had a sponsor and I'd credit him for so much of what I went through just because I needed someone to be accountable to. Like it was structured in that way to where I felt like he was kind of my boss. And because I let him be my boss, I found a lot of success in my life. You know what I mean? So it kind of I had to gradually understand the nature of the relationship. You know what I mean? So it can turn into that, but it doesn't have to be like an official like thing. But yeah, if someone's in a really dark place or not quite there yet, and let's say that him and I connect, you know, on the podcast or whatever, like there's that thing where I said something that he really connected with. So he's kind of looking up to me now. Like, yeah, we're going to take this offline and you can call me every day. Like, tell me what's going on. Like, I'll give you my best advice from what I've been through. So it'll turn into, I'll bet there'll be so many opportunities for that. And there'll be a lot of inspiration. Like other people will start opening up. Like I see.
Once we start opening up the door, then all it's gonna take is a couple people, and then that's more content from there.
Right.
It's just gonna continue going from there.
Yeah, there's something here, dude. I feel it in my heart and I feel it physically. Like I'm warmer to the touch because like it's just like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is something I've been trying to do for a while now, and it's like that. It's getting through this hurdle of getting people to open up to where, because I mean, I stay like helping out homies on a regular basis, especially when they're going through something. You know what I mean? Like, I got you. Come on, let's go. I got you. Come on, let's go. I got you. You know what I mean? Like, just reach one, teach one type thing. You know what I mean? Be the change you want to see, and like, as long as everything's on some positive shit, yeah, fuck it, let's get it. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's what I mean, dude. There's so much opportunity here. And it sucks that it's gonna be launched. Well, actually, it doesn't suck. I think that's awesome. Like I named the title of this Adam G.
I see.
And like it felt profound after I hit enter. Like it felt like something was happening, you know? I can't explain it. But we have room to be a positive influence here.
And this is most definitely needed. It's been needed for a while now. Like with our dads there no more. You know what I mean? Like it's another thing that's been taken away from us, but now we're opening up the floor to other ways we can learn. Because not only as we teach people, we're also going to be learning from them as well. Right. Like, so it's all learning experiences for all of us, and let's just get it done. Let's just start it and then see where it goes from there. I'm hoping it gains traction. I'm hoping people actually open up and they're able to be vulnerable, and we're able to weed through the bullshit as well.
Well, may God be with us on this mission, to keep us on the same wavelength as far as our thinking, make us not deviate from the mission. Just
Hmm.
stay focused on helping. Keep the focus on the help.
Hmm.
I think we'll be all right. Should this be its own podcast
Um,
for the Facebook group?
Honestly, I was thinking about bringing you off into Uniting Dads as well, like officially, like because you and I have talked about it more than I've talked about it with the original board members,
Yeah.
like since the conception of it. You know what I mean? Like when finances run out, it's kind of hard to keep on keeping everyone engaged and everything else like that.
Right.
But
It's a
it's
lot to run the Facebook group, like to do what you're trying to do. It's a lot of work. Like
Mhm.
people don't think about running a Facebook group as work. Running any social media account is work. You know,
Yes, it is. It most
it takes
definitely is.
it takes a lot of time and a lot of attention.
Mhm.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, for sure. And I think with us just doing this on a weekly basis, that provides enough content for. I mean, we can still post things to Uniting Dads on a regular basis.
we could double it up. It could be its own thing, and then it could just be a section on my podcast.
Yeah,
Like I'll just release it on Mondays for the men's mental health Monday. I release the episode from Uniting Dads. Like
that's cool. I
so
mean,
now
however you want to structure it, however you want to
triple
structure
the
it.
quadruple the content.
Yeah, I mean, like we just have to like keep in mind like how much time we're putting towards that, and then like how much time we need towards actually maintaining our life. I want to set realistic goals.
Yeah.
I don't want to overstep on things that we need to do, and then we're not able to fulfill those goals.
Maybe that'll come up in conversation. Maybe that'll be a checkpoint where we come up with some sort of prompt that you and I always talk about during the video chat. That's like, okay, where are you at today in your life as far as like our next goal? Are you anywhere in a position to where we can start on this next thing, this
Yeah,
next phase? So we'll be constantly planning on these podcasts and then inching ourselves closer to the next thing because we'll be in constant conversation. So we'll be motivating each other and getting it to the next goal. Just keep moving the ball down the field.
yeah,
As long as we do that and incorporate new ideas that we think of on the fly and keep the conversation going. And speaking of our dads, my dad, his modeled behavior as far as dealing with emotions is I don't know what he was ever feeling. I mean, I could tell when he was mad, but I never knew if my dad was maybe when he was like really sad. Like I remember when his dad died and he cried. I remember noticing that he was sad, but other than that, like he's a normal person. He had to have been sad a lot. I just couldn't tell,
I've never seen my dad shed a tear. Never seen my dad shed a tear.
Huh.
And then when I was 18 years old, I gave him the full blast because my dad wasn't kind of there. You know what I mean? My dad mom situation was a little weird. So I gave him the whole blast and he just sat there.
Yeah.
No reaction. I'm used to a reaction by now or something. Like just nothing.
Right.
Never had no idea any of the stuff he was going through. But after he passed away, I saw a lot of 1 day chips, a couple 30-day chips. Things like that, but it didn't get past 30 days.
Hey, maybe he did. He just didn't bring any more chips home.
But he kept them. He held on to them. Like it was in a little box and with all his jewelry and stuff like that. So he really valued them.
Hey, I kept for the longest time, the first 2 years, I kept all mine in my right where I could see them next to my cup holders, just as a reminder. And now I have a pendant that my aunt got me that has the Serenity Prayer on it, and I have it on my rear view mirror. Like I put reminders in front of myself too.
What's the Serenity Prayer?
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Oh, that'd be a dope intro.
Yeah. Well, however, you know what it might do though? Kind of, it would tie us to AA.
Oh, okay. What about even towards the end? That's fine. Like,
Dude, I'll throw it in the chat GPT and I'll fucking reword it.
We can pull different things from different things.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it's not copywritten. We're not trying to monetize it. So,
No.
like, I mean, if it works, we'll work with it. You know what I mean? We'll run it. Like,
why not?
100%.
It worked for me. I can't shit on it.
Yeah, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just we'll keep it rolling.
All right. What's a good time of the week that you're always available?
Honestly, Mondays sounded wonderful.
Monday?
I know I have D&D every other Tuesday, That's the only thing that's really locked in stone, other than the times we cancel, which D&D groups on a normal basis cancel. But Mondays is dope. If you wanted to do every other Monday to start, that would be cool too. That way we can ease off into things. You know what I mean? And then get have time to gather up our thoughts, because I'm chaos is my playground. So
Oh yeah. All right. Let's do. So my time. You're in Central. Where are you at? Texas?
I'm an hour behind you.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I work every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and I pick the boys up at 2. I'm available at like 10 a.m. in the morning, 10 to about 1:30 every Monday through Friday. So Mondays, yeah.
Okay.
Can you make something in that?
That actually wouldn't be bad to do like midday Monday, like say 11. Is that cool?
11 my time?
Yeah.
That's actually perfect. That is my favorite time to record.
Okay.
That's the
So
best
Monday,
time.
Monday at 10 o'clock for me. I just want to make sure I'm not too groggy in the morning type shit.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Naturally around 8:30.
Do you have you ever tried those smelling salts?
Oh no.
Dude, that'll get you going for a podcast. I didn't do one today. I'm just saying.
That's
podcasting is such that like if I have to be kind of like ready at any given time, like sometimes it's at 10 at night, that's the end of my day, and like I have to record with someone stranger. It's like, all right, here we go.
Oh yeah, there's most definitely no Herculing Durkle and fucking with smelling salts. You're gonna wake right the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't sound like a hair rush. All my joints gonna creak and pop.
Right.
Oh, shit,
I'm kind of interested into seeing what happens when people hear and see about this, you know. I'm just curious.
Just to be open and vulnerable with you, it's dope as fuck to be able to do this with you.
Word, man. I feel
we
you.
have a very extensive fucking history, and I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, great. We're gonna have to tell some stories on here now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the ones that I can remember anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot, but I do remember some. And I remember, I'm not gonna talk about it here, but I went through a lot of like real growing up childhood, growing up things, coming of age things with you.
No, yeah, for sure.
You know, with like girls and like
shoulda couldas. You remember that? Shoulda woulda couldas?
Yeah,
shoulda woulda couldas. Fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it now.
Oh man, I'm excited though. I'm glad. You know, it's a tragic event, but as so many good things that have happened, that's sometimes what starts it. You know, I mean, we have a real chance to make an impact, so I'm excited about that, and I'm grateful that I get to do it with you.
Facts.
You know, this is gonna be good. I feel it. Well, all right. I put it down for the 3rd, October 3rd, for our next one.
October 3rd.
Or hey, it's gonna be a slow build, bro. We're gonna do a slow build. October 3rd, 2027, also. So it's gonna be
October 3rd, 2027.
I'm gonna be a different person next time we meet.
Like, hopefully, we're all different people. Hell yeah, we keep on growing.
Right? Hopefully. Oh, it's February.
So we're
3rd.
talking February 3rd.
It is February 3rd. Yeah.
So we're talking about Monday.
11 a.m. That's what I put. Dude, hell yeah. Good shit, AJ.
This is dope.
That is dope.
Like, I got a vibe, really good feeling from this, for real.
Good,
even just sitting down talking to you, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.